If you're over 40 and want to be the best version of yourself, Fit Over 40 with Coach Clarence is here to help. Clarence Ferguson is a seasoned loan officer, fitness expert, personal chef, and entrepreneur who leads a revolution of men and women who want to live their best life going into middle age. Inspiring dialogue, challenging topics, and industry leaders are here offering tips and how-tos to improve your life. Now, here's Coach Clarence.
Welcome to Fit Over 40 with Coach Clarence. Today's guest is Kimberly Burgess. She is a loan originator. She is the mortgage buff, also a fitness enthusiast, and now a bodybuilder. So this should be an interesting conversation because it's Fit Over 40, and she doesn't look a day over 30, so I don't even know why she's here, but we're going to find out. Kimberly, how you doing? We've been trying to put this together for a while, and we finally were able to coordinate it. So tell everybody how you doing. Looking all fit over there.
I'm doing great, Coach Clarence. Thank you so much for having me today.
So I always like to get a little background. So kind of tell me where you're from, where you grew up, kind of give me a little story about yourself.
Sure. So I am originally from Colorado. I grew up in a small little mountain town called Salida, Colorado. It's in central Colorado, so almost right in the middle of the state. It's a beautiful, beautiful little town. When I mean little, 6,000 people. So I grew up there, and it was a great place to grow up. You know, obviously, kids don't do the same things now that we did then. But, yeah, I grew up there, worked as a loan originator for 23 years there. So I still have a pretty good client base in Colorado, and I've always been into fitness. Track and gymnastics in high school, and then just carried through with fitness through my adult years.
Mm-hmm. So fitness is one thing, but stepping into the stage is another thing. What was that all about? What made you decide that's what you wanted to do?
The past 6 years, I was an avid CrossFitter. I mean, I could live or die for CrossFit. I really drank the Kool-Aid in that sport, so I loved it. I did do some local competing, never the CrossFit games are up to that type of level of competition. But as I got older, and especially after I turned 40, I really didn't like how my body was looking. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty critical on myself, but if you look at women CrossFitters, they just have a very boxy frame. They don't have a lot of shape. Sometimes their muscles are kind of out of proportion. So I started looking at other ways that I could maybe improve not only my fitness level, but how my body looked, and turned to bodybuilding.
I see. So, I mean, you being a busy originator, and, I do the same thing, so I know what kind of schedule you're keeping. How do you talk me through like a day? Like, what's your day like? I know my day starts. What is your day like?
It is pretty taxing, up at 4 a.m., having to immediately get up and eat your first meal early in the morning. I mean, it's like clockwork now, but at first it's very hard because sometimes you get up and you're not hungry. You have to drink 1.5 gallons of water a day. Sometimes that's very hard at first when you think you're drinking a lot of water until you actually start measuring it. So right. 1.5 gallons, then you're having to pee all day. So
sounds like my puppy.
So that's
he's not even competing.
Right. So when you do have a busy schedule and you're trying to work, but you're having to run to the bathroom every 20 minutes, that's tough too. So, but yeah, you've got to plan your meals. You take food and water everywhere you go. The thing that I've found about bodybuilding is it's actually a very isolating sport. So it's not only taxing physically, but it's very taxing mentally.
100%. So is there a competition in sight, or are you kind of just getting ready and you'll be ready if something kind of fits the bill?
Hopefully November or December. I'm not sure.
Birthday month.
Yeah, mine too.
Are you a Scorpio?
Yeah. No, I'm Sagittarius.
Oh, well, you suck. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, shoot. But yeah, hopefully November or December. It's just going to depend on if my body is ready. Because when I compete, I want to compete to win. I just don't want to go out and just hit the stage.
Yeah.
So,
well, as a former competitor years ago, like in the 90s, so like what you guys are doing is totally different. There was no male physique. You were either a bodybuilder or you were just a guy in some underwear on stage. So now to see where it has changed, How do you really prepare for this? I know you talked about the mental part, the preparation with the food. How do you, everybody's out having fun in our business. People like to drink and party. How do you deal with that struggle of keeping the balance of I can't eat the shit they're eating and drink the way they're drinking?
Right. It is really hard at first. I kind of tried to keep it under wraps, and then finally, I'm just very open and honest with people, and I'll tell them, yes, I can come out, but please don't think I'm a party pooper. First and foremost, my job is what's more important, but second comes the bodybuilding. So, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to eat what you're eating. I'm going to eat before I go. And, it's not that you can't eat if you eat out, but you're going to have to be really, really careful and very particular about what you eat.
So are you allowed in your regimen a cheat meal?
I don't. I honestly just started the pretty strict prep. So I'm going to say no, but I've never done this before, so I could be wrong. I guess it will just depend on what my body starts to do. I'm lucky. I lean out extremely quick. Last week, I weighed 142 pounds. I'm down to 127 this morning. So wow. I'm lucky just with a meal plan change. I can drop weight like crazy.
How's your energy?
I feel fine. Yeah, so far I feel fine, but I'm used to being lean and used to being thin. I prefer to be lean, but to be able to compete and hit the stage, I have to gain and put on some muscle. Beef up.
Yeah, I understand. So, when you get on stage, it's very judgy. People are looking at you. They're making comments about you. How have you prepared yourself for the reality of you might be on, and I've dealt with women who have trained, and I've trained a couple of competitors over the years, and some of them take it hard if they hear criticism. How have you prepared yourself to deal with if you hear something you don't like? Because honestly, they all look amazing.
Right.
Way above average. But
sure.
There's some judge. He's like, oh, your triceps or this or your butt's not here. And, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Sure. I'm really fortunate to have the coaches that I have because they are brutally honest. And
who's your coach, by the way? Give him a plug. I know you're a coach.
Yeah, I know. My coach is, I go to Physique's gym. It's Craig Tennell, the Tin Man, and Kara Barnes. They're both my coaches.
They're both awesome. I know both of
Yeah,
those two.
they have been amazing. Just to guide me through the process and frankly to put up with me because some days I'm not easy. So I'm really hard on myself and I have to kind of learn to step back and say, hey, I'm making the choice to do this. So I have to learn to stay positive about my body image and how I'm feeling because it's just part of the process.
Speaking of body image, you're literally stepping on stage where your body image is going to be judged.
Right.
And this is your first time, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would love to, if you're up for this, when you do compete, come back and talk about that experience because it is an experience. It's very hard on relationships. Generally, one person wants to kind of be in the crowd. When you're successful financially and you're doing well, you want to kind of be in the crowd and go travel and do fun things, if you want. I'm doing air quotes. Being a competitor, you have to shelf some of that. So, I'm sure women listening, they know what you look like. They want to know what you eat. And the funny thing is, it's nothing they haven't heard, but it always sounds different from somebody else versus me. So tell everybody what your daily regimen looks like from breakfast. I don't want to expose any secrets, but it's no secret, right?
No secrets. In fact, the meal plan was, believe it or not, the easiest part for me because being an avid CrossFitter, gosh, we try all kinds of meal plans. There's keto, there's the Whole30, there's fasting, all kinds of different things you can do. Elimination of carbs. What I've really liked about the bodybuilding meal plan is it's made me realize you can eat carbs. Carbs are not bad. You can eat them and not get fat. It's just the way, it's all in how the macros are set up, and everybody's different. What works for one person might not work for another, but I eat the exact same thing every day.
Do you ever get bored with that? You ever try to mix? Okay,
at first,
I'm gonna put a piece of fruit in just to make it look different.
At first, that was a little bit difficult, but as soon as I started seeing the results and what my body was doing, I was sold. It's like, okay, I'll eat cardboard all day long if this is how I can look.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Eat cardboard and you will get fit. So, being on social media, and we're all on social media with our careers and stuff, what type of pushback have you got, good or bad? Go into both of them.
Sure. A lot of people are very encouraging. I mean, I post daily. Some people, I'm sure you've seen it too. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. Occasionally I'll get a snide comment, get over yourself, or, the posts are just as much for me as they are everybody else. I try to always be inspiring and uplifting and kind of rah everybody, but I have my down days too. I mean, and especially with this bodybuilding and, what it can do to your hormones. I'm up and down. I'm also 47 years old, going on 48 years old. So I have that whole thing of hormones going on. So it's, it's not easy. I have my days, but what I find interesting is that women will never comment on my posts, but they will always message me and say, hey, how are you doing this? Or what are you doing? Or can you help me? Right. So it's really funny that they support you, but they don't want anyone to know they're supporting you. Right.
Could you stop having my husband like your post?
Right.
Yeah. That's, it's different. I think a lot of women are very curious about being fit and bodybuilding, and they want to hear from another woman, like the struggle and what it takes to be successful. So that's good for you. I mean, do you ever have any aspirations to be a trainer? Don't do it. But anyway,
I should, because I get asked literally daily, are you a trainer? Maybe I should take it up as a side gig. I don't know.
Man, listen. It's more mental than physical.
I'm sure
it is. I mean, listen, I got to get Craig on here because we could talk for hours about this. People don't get this as a mental thing. Like, for you to say, I eat the same thing every day, just getting someone to get up and eat breakfast is the first 90 days.
Yep.
Stop eating this, stop overeating, stop watching a Hallmark movie and snacking on chips. It's mental. The physical part is easy, to me at least. Some people have different issues with it, but a lot of this is just mindset, right?
It really is. Yeah. And one other thing I find interesting is that I find a lot of women, when they do start talking with me, they undereat. Some people just don't eat enough. I'm thinking, well, you're not eating enough to even build any kind of muscle. You're probably underfed. You've been undernourished for gosh knows how long, but taking vitamins, drinking a lot of water, just staying healthy in general and having a strong immune system, but you have to eat.
Right. And it's funny when I talk to people who say they want to lose weight, first thing I tell them, you got to eat more. And they go, what? I'm not eating. I'm like, exactly. You're not nourishing your body. First of all, you could eat, but if you're not getting calories that are feeding your body, giving it what it needs, doesn't matter what you're eating, it's just a waste of time, So again, the whole thing is mindset. So I didn't realize you were in the mortgage business that long.
I haven't.
What excites you about being in the mortgage business? What do you like about the whole mortgage lending thing?
I love helping people, number one. I actually wanted to be a teacher just because I love teaching. Probably when I get, I shouldn't say too old, but it's a hustle doing what we do. I mean, it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. So when I get to a point where I can't do that, I'll probably be some type of real estate or mortgage trainer. That's probably what I'll go into doing, just because I love teaching.
Yeah, there's a lot of business with that, for sure.
And it's always fun seeing first-time home buyers get their first home, or having repeat clients. I love all of that, and I love meeting people. I'm a people person.
I see. What advice would you give somebody who wants to get a loan right now in this crazy market?
I'm encouraging people to get pre-qualified. I say if you don't do it now, especially here in Arizona, you're really missing the boat. We're not going to continue to see those high appreciation levels, but it's going to be 6 to 8% higher next year. So you're still going to pay more. Right. So, and there's a lot of programs opening back up, a lot more possibilities to be able to get into real estate and start building your own wealth. Stop paying rent.
Exactly.
Stop paying rent.
Exactly. All right. So, I'm going to ask you this. Talk about dating.
I hate dating.
What do you hate about dating?
To be honest, I'd just like to cut to the chase. Can't I just trip over someone and it's happily ever after?
I've tried that, but then the
Does
Me
it work?
Too movement got a hold of me really quick. So that may work for women, but I'm not suggesting that for men. Actually, we're going to delete that part out.
Yeah, but
I ain't tripping over nobody.
no.
We can fall together, and then there's going to be video evidence of both of us laying there.
Exactly, right? No kidding.
I know exactly what you're saying. The whole dating process, it's like an interview. Like you go out the first time, everybody's on their best behavior. Oh, I'm
Right.
perfect. I'm not psycho. I'm not going to fuck you up. And then 4 weeks later, you're blocking them, and then you're making a post like, I'm this and I'm that. Dating is very tough, especially when you get older. When you're younger, you take more risks,
Sure.
So, obviously, you are in better shape than 90% of the men out there. So, do you find that men find that intimidating?
Yeah, I think they find a lot of things intimidating about me. A lot of men say they want a strong woman to stand beside them, but I really don't think they do. They get intimidated because of the money I make. I'm successful, I'm driven, I'm fit.
What do they want?
I
broke
don't
chick
know.
who's out of shape?
I guess.
Has no drive? Who wants that?
Right? I don't know.
I don't know.
You could tell me better, I guess. What do they want?
There are a lot of insecure men out there. Traditionally, if you go back, and you got to go to history to answer that question. Traditionally, women stayed at home. They reared the children. They weren't out in the workforce. Now you got women who make more money than men. And for some guys, because that's their insecurity. They want to feel like I'm in charge and I'm beating my chest at home. And, well, dude, your woman makes more money than you. So step it up. If that bothers you, make more money. Like,
right.
Don't make excuses.
Right.
But I also think some men see you and they like your physique, and it's almost a fantasy, a fetish, if you will. But then they're like, man, I can't drink beer and watch football all day. She doesn't want to do that. And I think that's part of it too. For me, sometimes I'll meet women, they say, I don't want to go out with you because you're going to look at my body. You're going to judge me. So it's both sides, but
sure.
I think you're on a different level. So you need a man that's really confident with himself and is good with what you're doing, because it will be tough for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard too, because yes, I do go for the alpha, so to speak, but me being an alpha myself,
it's like a headbutting.
Yep, that can be tough too.
Who's going to kill a dinosaur today?
I gotta step
I'll
it
be
down.
like, go ahead.
I gotta step it down. I'm trying to work on my more feminine side, but
okay.
it's
what does
tough.
that sound? What does that mean to someone listening? What is your feminine side?
That's a great question. I don't know. I just feel like my energy level is always really high. I'm a little stressed out, a little tense. Maybe I need to kind of back it back down, soften it up a little so I don't scare people. I'm really nice. I'm really friendly and fun.
All right. So you already say you like alpha men. What other attributes do you like? Do you like short, tall? Do you like a dad bod? Do you want Arnold Schwarzenegger? Do you want a Morris Chestnut? I don't know. What do you like? Or Idris Elba? I know you like that. Yeah.
Honestly, as far as body type, I don't go for a particular body type. They do have to be somewhat fit, just because I don't think it's going to work. Honestly, fitness was one of the things that caused me to get divorced. So
I hear that a lot from women, because they start to discover themselves and their man is like, and then they get insecure. Oh, you're going to the gym and guys are complimenting you. But again, that's them.
Right.
You understand it's really their problem, not yours.
Right. So definitely it would have to be someone who is in support of what I'm doing and is somewhat fit themselves, and more for health reasons. People can look however they look, but you've still got to be healthy.
True.
So I don't really have a particular body type or type that I'm looking for. I try to really just look at the person. Are they a good person? How do they treat me? Sure, you've got to have that initial spark and attraction, but you got to have a lot of other things too.
I see. So when you're dating people, is there like a vetting process? Do you when we pre-qualify people? So sometimes that goes into our personal life. Like, do you find that it's that hard to balance that out? You're like, oh, he did this or he said that. Oh, yeah, that's going to cost him a few points.
Denied.
Right?
I need some more approvals. Approved.
Exactly.
I think you can kind of tell. I mean, even I've been on dating sites before. I haven't done that for quite a while. I kind of, it's the same guys on all the same sites. It's a real shit show, so to speak. But I've tried to meet people organically too, and sometimes that doesn't work either. So I don't know. It's interesting, the vetting process, but you can kind of get a feeling just from even when you're communicating, virtually.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah.
You can just kind of tell with the energy. So.
Sure. Every person who's into fitness has a body part that they love and a body part that they're like, I need to make this happen and make it work, make it look better. What are your two loves and what is the part you want to get better? See, for Laura, as an example, if Laura was going to get on stage, she won't be doing any back poses because she's lacking a little gluteus. It's like gluteus non-existence.
Aww.
She says it. I'm just repeating. She doesn't have a butt. I mean, you got to have body parts.
One, it's just not
able to be seen by the microscope.
It's challenged. I have butt challenge.
Laura, we just aren't built that way, but you can get a butt. I am living proof. I am living proof. You can build a butt.
And for $9.99, 3 payments of $9.99, we can get you a butt.
It cost me a bit more than that, but it can happen. So right now, I would say yes. I think I have a great butt right now. I'm working on my legs.
Now, if I say yes, she does, then I sound like a pervert. But I've seen her butt, and I've watched it get better. It's good.
Yes, it is getting better.
You listen, I'm being honest. She's on stage. They're going to judge her butt.
They are.
She's got a nice tush. There it is.
And I've only been to a couple of shows, and I will tell you that's the first thing I noticed. Those women will walk out, and they can look fantastic from the front, and they turn around, and I'm like, whoa.
We call that spinach on ice cream.
I'm like, Tin Man needs to help these gals.
Let me explain what spinach on ice cream means, because everybody's been asking me to explain. Here's what spinach on ice cream is like in the same scenario you use. You're walking down the street, it's a hot sunny day, you got a nice vanilla cone, and somebody in New York threw their trash out the window, and that spinach lands right on your cone. So when you're watching a woman walk and everything up front's great, and she passes you and you do the little quick look, you're like, damn it. It is Butterface, Butterbutt. Same scenario. I know exactly what you're saying. Like, work on those glutes. But, that's a culture thing. Some cultures, having a big butt is the attraction.
Right.
In Scottsdale, how big your boobs are.
Right.
What car you drive, whatever. There's always something, So, yeah. Interesting. So, you like your butt. What do you hate?
I don't hate. I'm trying not.
Say hate,
I know. I'm
to
trying not to say hate, but when I lean out, my boobs go bye. I mean, they.
So did mine.
Go
I had these big double D's, and I started working out. Now I can't even wear a bra.
I'm telling you, but they came back, which is crazy.
How did you get them back?
Just by putting the weight back on. It's fat. So.
It's fat. I know. I know.
So
a lot of women will come to me and go, I want everything to go but these, and I'm like, well,
those are going to go.
Those are going to go. They're just, if you start with a lot, it's a good situation. If you don't have a lot to start, then you're going to be unhappy. But you can always, in Scottsdale or anywhere else, go see a surgeon and make that scenario happen. If that's what you. And actually, let me ask you about that. There's a lot of plastic surgery now. There are fake butts, implants, stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Because you seem very natural in terms of you haven't done anything like with a needle and under, surgery. What do you think when you see women like that? Do you judge them, or are you just like, hey, that's their journey?
No judgment. Honestly, when I did lean down so much, I considered getting breast implants, and I still may do it, but I reconsidered because it is going to hinder my training. There's going to be certain movements I can't do. 100%. I'm going to be out of commission for a few months, and that alone will probably drive me crazy.
Yeah. So where do you want this to go? You want to be on the Olympia? Where do you want? You just want to do a couple shows?
That's a great question. I would say it's going to depend on how my first show goes. So if I knock it out of the park my first show, but by all means, I'm going to want to go pro. I still may, even if I don't knock it out of the park. I want to continue on.
What is your definition of knocking it out the park?
Man, you got to win. You got to go on there and
But isn't it a win if you get there and you've done all this training and you look amazing?
It is.
Because I'm only saying this to you because I've seen so many people get let down, and because it's not you, it's what the judges are looking for
sure.
that day, and you might not be that person.
Yep.
And I just hate to see you go there, and I've seen a lot of people really get emotionally down and lead to bad eating habits.
Sure.
Body dysmorphia because they lose a show. I mean, I see a lot of times, and I'm just as a layperson, I'm not a judge, and I see these women look really amazing, and they are just being judged on some high standard, But I've also seen women walk on stage and get their first place right out the top. So anything's possible.
Definitely.
Anything's possible.
And I still have a ton to learn. I mean, I'm not even through the hardest parts of it. I barely just started learning how to pose. And it's huge. It's hard. It's hard.
Absolutely.
It's hard looking at yourself when you don't like what you look like. And then you're seeing your body move and you're thinking, this looks so awkward and so strange. How is this going to look natural on stage? So
posing is definitely an art.
Yeah.
Because when you learn how to pose correctly, you hide your flaws, if you will, and you highlight the better parts of yourself. And it's lighting, it's makeup. You're going to get tan. You're going to look all orange. I'm going to be seeing you for a few weeks looking all orange, like you spend a week in the sun. All that stuff that it takes to make you look good on stage, So, okay, so your ideas, if you win in a couple months, that's like literally 3 or 4 months away.
I know. And if I'm not ready by then I'm not ready.
Who makes that determination? You or Craig?
I'm taking their lead. I mean, I would love to be ready in November, but also I don't want to go out there prematurely, either not being confident enough with my posing or not looking a certain way or having some more work to do on my body. So,
have you done a trial run? Meaning, like, have you put on your bikini, walked out amongst a bunch of strangers?
I have not.
And listen, Craig is your coach, and I'm not ever going to step on his toes, my dude. I always tell people, you need to do that.
Right.
You need to just go somewhere random in a bikini, maybe in a pool so it's not so awkward, and just go, let's see how this works.
Right.
Because people you're going to walk on stage, and I've seen people freeze up.
Sure.
I've seen people shake to death,
Right.
and you're like, didn't you try this before? Like, have you not did a trial run to see how you're going to look? So yeah, have you thought about that?
Honestly, I think if once my body gets a little leaner again, I'd be all for it.
Have you practiced walking in them shoes?
Oh yeah. That's the easy part.
Neck with those shoes. That would be the end of my career. The first step.
And in physique, the category that I'll go, we're barefoot.
Oh, okay.
So, unless I decide
right.
to cross over into figure or something else, then I'll be in the heels. But, I'll be physique if all goes as planned.
Gotcha. That is very interesting. How do your peers look at all this stuff?
They think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've had people that even some family, some friends that have called me or texted me and said, I just saw your video and I almost started crying. Like, why are you putting yourself through that torture? And I don't like that guy. They said about my trainer.
Oh, Craig. Yeah. They've seen some of Craig's videos.
And I'm like, no. I'm choosing to do this. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay. Don't worry. I didn't die.
Yeah. But again, criticism is really a person's talking about themselves. I don't have the strength to do it, so you shouldn't be doing it, and that'll make me feel better to say you shouldn't do it, I mean, I've been in fitness for 32 years. I'm a dinosaur. I've seen it. And it takes a special person to get on that stage, and everybody has a reason they do it. So your thing was you just curious. You wanted to see where you can go with your body, and that's a good goal. You're going to be crossing over to 50 in a couple years. What does 50 look like? Let's say you're a pro card, and are you going to coach other women? Is that something you're aspiring to do? Or are you going to be like, because people in our industry, I mean, they make a lot of money. They don't necessarily always take care of themselves. It's I mean, you could have a whole career path just going, listen, I show you how to be fit and be successful with finances and all that good stuff. You know, is that something you're aspiring to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think that level of coaching versus like a personal trainer, that definitely interests me just because I like to inspire people.
You need to be a coach. Get people.
Life coach.
Yeah. Yeah. Life
there we
coach.
Go. Yeah.
Get people who are really motivated. That's one thing you're going to find with your level of discipline will disappoint you, because you being so disciplined, you're going to find that people it's them.
Right.
And you'll figure that out real quick, who's really going to show up and get it done, you know. And the cool thing about, like I was telling the girls last week, I'm at a place now, I pick and choose where I'm going to be spending time in the gym. Because if you're not going to get the work done, you're wasting my time. And I'm not going to waste my time with you if you're not trying to really get better. So that's kind of a bonus when you've been at it for a while. So, all right. So is there anything you want to promote? Any specials going on with your company, you know?
Just follow me on Instagram. Follow my journey.
How many people do you have on your Instagram?
I don't know.
My social media sucks. I saw yours. I'm like, damn. I'm going to have to throw in one of these little cute little
outfits. It's all about the hashtags.
Wearing.
Okay, the cute outfits help.
I can't. I just don't think I'm going to get the same result if I even try to put on what you wear. I don't think it's the same.
No, just follow my journey. A big part of competing is having that support system and having kind of a group of, I don't want to call them fans, but people that support you, so to speak. That's really big.
What's your Instagram handle?
Lil Miss Fitness and Finance.
I like that. And then tell me about this website. It is themortgagebuffs.com. Is that your company website?
Yep. Yeah, that's where you can go to, where you can find me if you want some consultation on finance or mortgage, refinance, purchase.
And you touched on an important point earlier about people getting qualified. That is probably my biggest headache in this business. People are putting the cart before the horse. They're going out looking at houses and they go, oh, this is the house I want. I'm like, can you afford it? Well, what do you mean? Do you know there's insurance, there's HOA, there's all these things, and then they go to get qualified and they get disappointed. So if someone wants to get qualified and just follow your journey, they would go to themortgagebuffs.com.
Yes.
I like that. All right. And then anything in the near future someone can check out, or just follow your journey? Are you posting your progress pictures up there?
I'm going to start. I just started serious prep. So, yeah, I'm going to start doing
Explain that to the lay people at home. I know what you mean, but what does that mean to someone at home listening? What is serious prep? Because they're looking at you like, she looks prepared.
Right.
What is the serious prep?
No, it's true. Well, the training gets a lot more intense.
Sure.
So So I started bodybuilding last November, and I was just literally doing 3 days a week group sessions. And then I picked up another, I would do the 3 group sessions and 1 one-on-one. Now I am 5 days a week, all one-to-one. So it's all just one-on-one personal training. The difference between that and group is that it's a much slower pace. It's a heavier load. The training sessions are a little bit longer, and then it includes the posing as well. So, sure. And then too, diet gets a lot stricter, and it'll continue to get stricter. You know, the last couple of weeks, from what I understand, it's literally fish meals all day long, 7 meals of, cod and asparagus and water, and then no water at the end. So yes. it's going to be intense.
Real interesting. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to follow that. You should do those little videos like you're a hostage. It's
right?
day 3 out and I'm eating my last asparagus and fish. Save me. Well, Craig, you guys over at Physique's Gym, you guys are doing a good job with her. I'm a big fan. Obviously we talk all the time, and I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And we're all going to be cheering for you and hope that you do really well on your first show.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to spend some time with us. Do you need something to eat real quick? Are you hungry?
Please. It's time for my next meal.
All right. That's Kimberly Burgess. Am I saying your last name?
Yes, you got it.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
And this is Coach Clarence of Fit Over 40, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in to Fit Over 40 with Coach Clarence. You can follow me on all platforms where you get your podcast. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in Fit Over 40 with Coach Clarence. You can also find me on YouTube at Coach Clarence TV. Like and subscribe so that you get all the videos as soon as we drop them. And last but not least, remember the golden rule: if you can't be good at it.